This is a podcast about both having autism and living with someone who has autism. My mom is Sonya, and I'm Josh, and this is Josh Has Autism.
Hey everybody, welcome to Josh Has Autism.
Hello.
Yes, we're so happy that you're hanging out with us again today. And Josh, I want to talk to you about something that I really feel like you have sometimes insight that can really help other people. And I want to talk about something that you've been dealing with and see how you feel about it and what we can do to help you through it and maybe help other people too. Okay, so you're living right now in a house that is going through a lot of changes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of us here at any given time.
Mm-hmm.
And so what that means is there's not enough space. There's not enough, sometimes not enough places to sit.
Yeah.
But I mean,
let alone places to be alone at. Yeah.
Exactly. And, your belongings and what have you. And so there's not really a place for it. Some of your stuff is still in storage.
Yeah.
In Nan and Pappy's storage.
Yeah.
So the question that I have is that you deal with sensory overload on a regular basis.
Yes.
And the way that I understand that is because, excuse me, you have so much coming in all the time.
Yeah. And
you are so aware of so many things all at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is different than me.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how I operate, and yet I'm stressed out here.
Right.
Mm-hmm. As I said last week, I have been so stressed out that I had to stop doing the podcast for a while. I really needed to pull away and stop doing everything just to regroup and take care of myself.
Right.
And so, kind of along the lines of that, of kind of like self-help, is I'm wondering, you're in this situation just, in different capacity, but I know that it's kind of crazy right now.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's all an upheaval because we're working towards something.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it's very stressful.
Yeah.
When we talked before, and a couple times about you going off to work and how you really invest your energy in work and you give it your all.
Yeah.
Which means when you come home, you're zapped.
Yeah, I crash. Yeah.
Yeah, you crash, and even into the next day.
Yeah.
Or the whole day.
Right.
So, I'm not specifically talking about that.
Okay.
What I want to know about is how can you self-regulate, if you can, when you find that your surroundings are not comfortable, it's too loud, there's too many people, there's not enough space, and how do you work through that, or you don't? I don't know.
Right. One of the things I do is get away.
Leave the house.
Yes, leave the house. And honestly, there's so many things to do around here, but I don't really have a go-to place to go for something like that right now.
Because a lot of places are opening back up again.
Right, but even then, friends and things like that, I don't have a lot of places I can go right now.
Yeah, right. Well, I guess specifically is that you think that your home is where you get to just
unwind.
And even in your bedroom, I can go in and see that you haven't found a place for some of your stuff.
Right.
And it's just sitting in the floor and you have to step over it when you go in. And when I come in, I have actually said, is it okay if I move this? And then I've moved it, over towards the closet.
Mm-hmm.
When you're there, do you see those kinds of things?
Sometimes it's just there are times where whether I'm looking for something or not, a specific thing or not, it could be right in front of me and I not see it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very So
I think what I'm asking you about is you are very specific about so many things.
Mm-hmm.
Things have to be in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be done in the right order.
Mm-hmm.
And the room that you're living in right now is a mess.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that there's just not enough room for everything.
Right.
Does that bother you?
Yes.
And is there anything that can be done that would make it feel better right now?
Right now? Like today, for example?
Sure.
No. Because, well, let me rephrase that. I could move into a different room. Mm-hmm. But that brings up other issues as well, because all the rooms are being used. And it's not... There's just... there's no privacy, for one.
Mm-hmm.
And for another, there's just not enough space right now. Until construction is done, we won't have enough space.
Well, because we are building from scratch a shed in the backyard,
mm-hmm.
from the ground up.
For the office.
Yeah, it's a 20 by 12,
mm-hmm.
so it's pretty big. And a lot of the stuff that we don't have room for here is going to go in there while the renovation takes place. Okay. So that's going to create more living space for us, mm-hmm. just to get some of the stuff out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, what's going to happen is what's called a mother-in-law suite is being added for Nana and Pappy.
Mm-hmm.
So Dad and I will go back into our master bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
You can choose any other room that you want. Anyone. You can choose this one if you want. This is what we're in right now, is what's the guest room / office.
Yeah.
It's the biggest room, aside from the master.
Right now, anyway, yeah.
Yeah. You can have this if you want. You can have the room that we're sleeping in. Because the kids' room, it is the smallest room.
Yeah.
Where you are right now.
Yeah.
Right. But I guess what I'm wondering about is that these things bother you. It's not orderly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just scattered, and you don't feel like you have privacy.
Right.
So here at home, how do you manage to hold it together and do the things that help your well-being,
mm-hmm.
if you do anything?
I have a lot of... Could you please repeat the question?
What do you do for yourself to be okay in this kind of chaotic environment?
Go ahead.
I will say this, that throughout your life, we've really tried to maintain schedules.
Yes.
And give you space.
Let alone advance notice on things.
Yeah.
Because that's what I needed.
Right.
I still need.
Right, right. We do all those things.
Yeah.
And the situation is right now that we don't have that. Now, I will say this. I am looking for a place for us to rent while the renovation is taking place. Because I think that it's going to get even smaller.
Mm.
Because what we're losing is a huge living room that Nana and Pappy hang out in all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's the walls being basically The front of the house is being busted open.
Yeah.
And, it's being,
Yeah.
a kitchen
Yeah.
is being added there.
Oh, I thought you said it's being kitchened.
It's being kitchened. So, I don't know if you know that or not, but I am looking, I have a friend that has a home, it's close enough we can walk to from here.
Oh, okay.
And, she's not living in it. I'm going to see if she's interested in renting it to us. And that would alleviate the problem while the renovation is taking place.
Right.
It does create other issues, like for you, you don't like change.
Right.
So going to live in a place we're staying at, but it's not ours.
And it's only temporary.
Yeah. That causes some anxiety for you, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's, like you said, this is the first time hearing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just started working on it, like yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let me try and put it in a way that you'd be able to understand me really easily.
Okay.
If you're traveling somewhere and you have to rent a hotel, and you have a general idea of what's going to be in it, but it's not yours. I mean, I've been to how many family reunions, and we invade a hotel.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, if I think about being at that rented place, like in that context of it being like a hotel, that makes it easier for me to deal with.
Oh, here or somewhere else?
Somewhere else.
So if we do rent a different place, it's easier for you to look at it in that context?
Yes.
Okay.
To see it as a literal short-time rental.
Mm-hmm.
Like a hotel.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. That's how I view that kind of thing.
Okay.
Even if it is...
It's kind of straightforward.
Yeah, even if it is for like 3 months minimum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But, yeah.
So what do you do for yourself here so that others that are on the spectrum that find themselves in a situation that they can't change, and what the only thing that you can do is work on your own well-being and make things better for yourself?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do in that regard that other people might be able to do to help themselves?
Well, for me, what I've been doing lately, I've been reading a lot again.
Mm-hmm.
And so usually whenever I'm not at work, I'm reading something.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's one thing that helps me to get away from how I'm feeling right now, because it's whenever I read a story, me, I myself am not I'm there, but I'm not there.
Mm-hmm. Right, you're carried away by the stories and
Yes.
the characters and the
so I'm not
plot.
So I'm not paying attention to what's going on around me or with me.
Mm-hmm. So that really helps you out to escape.
Yes.
Yep.
And that's really what I'm doing, is escaping.
Mm-hmm.
I know that too much of that can be unhealthy. But, because I mean, even from experience, I know that doing that too much it's not.
Well, one of the things that I see that is happening is that you seem to be more agitated and kind of short-tempered with the rest of us. So, and I think that that's reasonable because it just feels so stressful.
Yeah.
You know, but
I'm also stressed because every time I drive somewhere, whether it's to work or anything, people are not driving well at all.
There was something on NPR about that where they were saying that the fatalities are up, and people are just not doing things that they've always done in the past, like wearing their seatbelts. They're just, and it's almost like this pandemic made everybody forget how to drive and forget how to, just
forget to follow the speed limit signs.
Well, yeah. Anyway, it was interesting because NPR did have a segment on that very thing.
Yeah.
But here at home, the thing.
My point for bringing that up, though.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Was that I get so frustrated with these other drivers that they're going 15 under the speed limit. Mm-hmm. And then whenever I try and pass them, there's another person going 15 under the speed limit. And it's just silly things like that are constantly happening whenever I'm driving around here.
Mm-hmm. Well, so here at the house, and I think that just carries over because you're frustrated at home.
Yes.
Some of the things that I think is leading to the stress for you is that everybody else is stressed out. Your dad is stressed out. So we're on a time schedule. Mm-hmm. And this shed has to be finished before the renovation starts because we need the shed to put the stuff in.
Right.
So Nana and Pappy's, you would think that Nana and Pappy's stuff would just go into the shed, but I think we're gonna
actually use the shed,
sell our couch, and they're gonna move their stuff into our living room.
Oh, okay. And
then we'll just buy a new couch.
Okay.
Or they said that we could have theirs and they might get new stuff, but anyway, however that works is. So Dad's stressed because this shed has to be done in time. And again, it's his brain work that's creating this. It wasn't a kit.
Right.
It was something he, figured out.
He knows how to do it, and so he's doing it.
So.
With our help, yeah, but.
Yeah, we're the gophers and grunt workers.
Yeah.
Right. And so, okay, so he's stressed about that. I'm stressed because now it's my responsibility to make all the choices for Nana and Pappy's living areas. So I'm picking countertops and cabinets and flooring and hardware and faucets and tile and the doors, the size of doors. Do you want one door? Do you want two doors? Do you want it just goes on and on. It doesn't,
right.
So I'm stressed because of that. So
on top of caring for your immediate family.
Yes. Yeah. And the thing that I think is interesting about you is so that people would say that you were sometimes kind of detached. Mm-hmm. It's the way it looks. Mm. But what I do know is that when other people are really stressed, you feel that.
Yeah.
You might not know what to do with it, but you feel it.
Right.
And so we're also dealing with Nana's failing health. Mm-hmm. She's had a very, very rough few days at this point, and it's hard to see. Yeah. Pappy's health is failing, and so that's happening.
Yeah.
So you're in a house where there's a lot of different stressors, and I'm thinking that you feel them. Mm-hmm.
Constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
No, I'm saying I'm constantly feeling them.
Yes. Right, correct. That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
And so, we asked RJ, because RJ now has a 2-bedroom apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that, yes, of course, you can come live with him while the renovation takes place. He's fine with that.
Yeah.
And you really don't want to do that. Correct?
Yes and no. For the most part, that's correct.
Okay.
Oh my gosh,
It's hard when you're already stressed. I get it. It's hard to find words. It's hard to, just really be able to express yourself. I get that.
Yeah.
Now you like RJ.
Yeah, I do.
You enjoy spending time with him.
Yeah.
Living with him wasn't perfect, but living with anybody isn't perfect.
Right.
So, what is it about that particular apartment that you are hesitant on going over there? Because it does seem like it's an out for you. You could be away from all of this stress.
Right. Jeez.
I get it. Is just trying to talk about this just stressful to you?
A bit.
Okay.
A bit.
I'm gonna break things down.
Okay.
And ask you just one small part of the equation here. Let's do it that way.
Okay.
Okay. Other than reading,
mm-hmm.
What do you do to help yourself on a daily basis being here at the house? What decisions do you make that help you?
I try and stay away from everyone.
Okay.
Because there's so much going on, I can't really handle a lot of it. I can deal with it for small amounts of time. But yeah, I mean, I don't even take all of my meals in the kitchen or living room or anything.
I've noticed that you bring it in and you eat while you're doing stuff on the computer, right?
Yeah.
You watch movies on your computer?
Not often. Most of the time I'm on my phone rather than my computer. But whenever I am on the computer, I'm talking with people online. I'm reading online on the computer.
Mm-hmm.
Again, whenever I'm reading, it's mainly on my phone though.
Mm-hmm. So those things are really good at helping you to escape the intensity of being here.
Yeah.
So if escaping the intensity of being here would be helpful.
I also play video games on my computer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and that helps?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, so basically the things that you're saying that help you are the things that help you to escape.
For the most part. Because I mean, talking with my friends online, most of them are from, all of them pretty much are from, let me rephrase that, every last one of them are from all around the world.
Okay.
But it's most of them I don't know in real life.
Okay.
So it's...
Well, that's what the internet did for us.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But another thing that I do, though, is every Friday I, in person, go out and play D&D.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a huge stress relief.
Mm-hmm.
This last week, I was not able to do that because it was canceled. Because the person who's in charge of the game, had something else going on. So she couldn't run it. And so it was just canceled for last week. So I've been a bit more stressed out because I could. Yeah, agitated.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't de-stress by doing that.
Yeah. So there's a piece of it that I'm very, very curious about.
Mm-hmm.
The house is got all of this going on,
mm-hmm.
and you're feeling all of it.
Mm-hmm.
RJ says, yeah, I got a spare room. You know, you can come over and sleep. Yeah, by all means, stay here while that's going on.
Right.
And you don't really want to do that. And it's interesting to me because that thing would take you away from here.
Right.
But it does seem to me that since you've been back home, you really enjoy being back home.
Yeah. Even
though it's bonkers right now.
Yeah, it's so weird, right?
Yeah, explain that.
I can't. It's... Okay, maybe I can't. It's home. Mm. I can't really explain it much more than that, but it's home.
Mm-hmm. Well, there are things about living together that most definitely feels like home.
Yeah.
And there's parts of it that, like that connection that you and I have, where I can look at you sometimes and just say, "Do you need to get out for a while?"
Yeah.
Or I can see you and I give you a big hug.
Yeah.
And that seems to really be helpful.
Yeah.
Sometimes if what we were going to have to eat just doesn't seem appealing to you, you know, there's times where I go, yeah, me either. Let's do something else.
Yeah. Or you guys can have that. Do you want to go out and get something for us? From your perspective, at least.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think that's probably why. Because there's this comfort.
Understanding.
Yeah, it's an understanding. Yeah. There's a comfort level.
Yeah.
You know, and what...
on top of that, you're my mom. You know when I need to do things. You help remind me to do different things I need to do that I didn't think to do when I lived with RJ. So it's, in that sense, it's a bit easier.
So that part's comforting.
Yeah.
Because you feel like you've got a safety net.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yet you would not have the stress of everything that's going on.
Right.
So what you're saying is that safety net,
it's important to have that.
Yeah. And that part makes you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So you don't want to leave that and go over there.
Right.
Yeah. So do you think your decision is to stay here if we don't find a place to rent, or you go with us when we rent a place? The tricky part here is that we would think that, well, for a period of time, that Nana and Pappy could go, let's just say, to a hotel that had a little kitchenette. And they would be okay there. The problem is that Nana is at
her health is hindering that.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. And
it's important for her well-being to stay in a place that's familiar.
Yeah.
And to not feel displaced so much.
Right.
And because of that, and because she's not able to pack, she's not able to,
right,
you know, even make a meal. So, and
to answer your question that you had asked a couple minutes ago, about it was tail end of you talking earlier, but and then you started talking about this. But
Okay.
You asked something along the lines of if would I want to live with RJ, or would I want to stay here, or if we rent the place, would I go over there?
Mm-hmm.
If we all had to rent a place away from here while it's being worked on,
Mm-hmm.
I'd honestly prefer not to be in the rented place. I'd prefer to be with RJ for that time being. If we're not here at the house.
Okay. That's a little bit confusing, because if
the safety net,
mm-hmm.
it's not so much that it's the safety net at that point,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not at home either way.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. So is it the things that are familiar to you, that wherever we go, when we have a place, like, so even the apartment before we got this house,
That was home.
that was home, because that's where we were, that's where all of our stuff was.
Yeah.
And I remember something happened funny the other day. So you know that so Connor
Mm-hmm.
is on the spectrum, and I remember when you were little, I was talking to you about getting a new jacket,
Mm-hmm.
and you said to me, "I can't get a new jacket. All my stuff is in this one."
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this week, Connor said they have a van,
Mm-hmm.
and your sister Bug said, "Well, we're going to need a new van soon."
Mm-hmm.
Connor said the same thing that you did. "We can't get a new van. All my stuff is in this one."
Oh my God.
Yeah. That's so funny, so funny. But it made me think about this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it made me think about it. Like because what you're saying is, you need you can't go to a different place because all your stuff is in this one. Like, you can't go over to rent someplace. You can't, you might as well go stay with RJ if you're going to leave what you consider home.
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm. So, what about the small things that you do? Let's break it way down.
Mm-hmm.
Because one thing that you do is you separate yourself from everybody else when you need your own time.
Mm-hmm.
When you're on your own time, you do those things that help you to escape the stress.
Yes.
What else do you do, if anything, helps you to keep plugging along? And that you do, you take your medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get enough sleep?
Not always. Actually, since I started work, it's about maybe 50-50 that I sleep.
It's interesting because it wears you out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like, for example, 2 nights ago I got 1 hour sleep.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Last night I got full time sleep.
That's good. A whole night's sleep.
Yeah.
That's good. And so you're kind of stuck in a situation that the situation can't really be changed.
Right.
Like the big picture.
Right.
What can we do different here? What would help you to feel more comfortable? Like right now. What changes can we do? What can we do to contribute to your well-being?
Let me lay down because it's my back's hurting a little bit. So
Okay.
No, but for the time being, right now I understand that things are not in limbo per se, but just like you said earlier, chaos.
Mm-hmm.
I mentally get that.
Mm-hmm.
What I think is that it just needs to for lack of a better way of saying it, hurry up and get finished.
Mm-hmm. It just needs to be resolved.
Yes.
Because it's the waiting.
Yes.
That's so
well, it's
difficult.
not just the waiting, it's all of the stuff that's tied up with it.
Right.
All the emotions, all the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so once the shed and the addition are all built, once all the furniture is where it needs to be, everyone's in the rooms that they need to be in,
Mm-hmm.
I think that will alleviate so much of the stress, so much of the issues that we're having.
Well, at that time, let's just say 4 months from now,
Mm-hmm.
This should be finished,
Mm-hmm.
and there should be Dad and I will have our master bedroom and bathroom back,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have a room freeing up here.
Mm-hmm.
Nana and Pappy have a new living room.
Mm-hmm.
They have a new bedroom, a new bathroom, and a new kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And all of that is good for them and healthy for them. We have doors that separate us from them, but
Right.
they also don't have to be closed so that we can, always make
Right.
sure that they're doing well.
Right.
But what it does feel like, even to me, is that's a very long time
Yeah.
to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so for you, when you deal with sensory overload to begin with,
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying
I thought of something else just now.
okay.
Whenever I have to do laundry,
Mm-hmm.
let's say that because to get the laundry room, we have to go through the door that leads to Nana and Pappy's living room.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes they have that door closed.
Usually just when the kids are here.
Right, but even so, sometimes it is closed.
You are correct.
So I can't do my laundry during that time. People have told me that, I can just go on in or something like that. No.
Yes, sure, you can. It's closed because the kids are loud.
Okay.
You can do your laundry.
Okay. I mentally acknowledge that, but it doesn't register
Okay.
as being the case.
Okay.
So there are some times where I need to do laundry and I can't because of that. Sometimes there are, like, the door may be open, nothing's running. I open up the lid to the washer and there's clothes in it that are still dirty.
Are still dirty?
Are still dirty.
Yeah, that's me.
That's you?
That's me.
Stop it.
Stop it. Stop it. Because here's why. Because a lot of times...
the clothes are filthy or something like that,
well,
right?
we've been working on a shed.
Yeah, I get that.
But I still see that it's difficult.
Yes.
It causes... It puts a kink in your plans there.
Right. And so I can't do laundry at that point.
Okay.
And if pretty much the only time that I've been able, there's 2 ways that I can do laundry.
Okay.
One, there's nothing in the washer. Excuse me. 2, the washer's already been run, and while there may be stuff in the dryer, if it's done but it's cold, I zap it and then come back and empty it and then put the stuff in the washer in the dryer so I can actually use the washer.
Mm-hmm.
That took me years to be able to get to that point.
Right. Yeah, I know.
But
so why don't we
one of the other things that I've been told is that I can't do laundry after 6:00.
Okay. Let me tell you this. The reason is is that the laundry room is loud. We don't notice it because our living room is further away. We don't notice it. But their living room is right next to the laundry room. When the...
You know what I find ironic about that?
What?
That we can hear their TV from our living room.
Oh, that's because Pappy can't hear. And he refuses to get hearing aids. So sometimes we have to turn our TV up in our living room because their TV in their living room is too loud.
Yeah.
But
you see the humor in that.
I do, yeah. And so this house was built in the 50s, and a lot of houses were built where you have a living room and then you have a family room. So I guess technically their living room is what would be called a family room.
Okay.
That's why there's 2 living rooms here. But when the renovation is done, the door that's on our side is going to stay there. But they're getting a door
on the
other side of the laundry room. Yeah. So the laundry room is going to be kind of like this own
shared space.
Yeah. Where you each have a door that can,
go into the laundry room.
Yeah. Yes. And so, okay, so let me address a couple of things right now. If the door is closed, and you're not comfortable going through the door when it's closed, come get me.
Okay.
And I have no problem opening the door when it's closed.
I've noticed. No.
So the other thing is, let's make plans for when you need to do laundry, and you have designated times.
Okay.
That way, nobody else can go in there. Everybody will honor that.
Okay.
And you have then that time to do what you need to do. And what was the other thing?
I don't know. It's your mind.
It was just now. You said it.
It
was something else. It was about...
laundry that was in there already?
Yeah, about the door being closed. And then
dirty laundry being in the...
Yeah, so that won't happen. You have the day and the day that you need to do laundry, that won't happen. Okay. So what it is a lot of times, and by 6:00, here's the thing. If you go, oh shoot, I forgot, and I do this sometimes too. It can't be helped. But there is that door that's in the laundry room itself. Just pull it closed. Okay. If you have to do it. Okay. They said that it gets really hard to hear TV with the washing machine or the dryer going, and
it's hard to hear when you can't hear.
Yeah, right. So anyway, yes. So let me know if you discover that you need something and it needs to be done, and I will be the go-between.
Thank you.
Yes. So here's something else that I notice is that you're accustomed to living with your dad and myself. And we're pretty comfortable, with the arrangement. Yeah. And because I will have to say that, I don't know, maybe even a year and a half ago or something, it got really difficult because I was doing everything for you, and and things have changed since then. You really have stepped up, and you're doing more things for yourself. Yeah. So it does make it easier for me. But I do understand that Nana and Pappy are older, and they're set on how they like things done and what they want things done, and they can be crabby about it. And so let me know when you need me to do kind of interference. Okay. Okay? Because I can go do those things and
be the go-between. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, because and this is going to sound like I'm a jerk, but I don't really care.
I might sound like a jerk, but I don't care.
I really don't.
You have no issues telling people, hey, this has to happen.
Yeah. Sorry, we know that it bothers you. It can't be helped this time. Yeah. We're mindful of it, but it can't be helped, so this has to be done.
So it's not you being a jerk or anything. It's just I've noticed something about you. Uh-oh. And that is that you tell people what's going on as it is, not how they want to hear it. You're sometimes mindful so that you're nice about it, but you say things as they are, and as you see it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
And so it's not so much that you don't care. Mm-hmm. It's that why try and lie about something? And that's a big thing with you, is that you do not like it when people lie. Mm-mm. Yeah, you've never liked that.
Mm-mm. I never have.
You don't put up with it either. Mm-mm. So it's not so much. I'm trying to say this the right way that I'm thinking of it, but it's like finding the right words. I think that part of it is just because the way your mind works, which really helped out with whenever you do comedy as well. Mm-hmm. Because just the way that your mind works, the way that you think things through, and you can see the humor in so many different things, that you just, for lack of a better way of saying it, you don't care. You care, but you don't.
Well, I would just say that I put it out there, but I also stand up for you.
Yes.
And so what I'm saying is that my version of this is that it's, I do respect everybody that lives here. Yeah. And they're all of, we all have our own quirkiness. We all, have our own way of doing things. We're having to coexist right now, which is very inconvenient, but also difficult at times, because you take two households and you bring them together, and they're used to living differently. Then it's just a little bit uncomfortable. But
is that what marriage is?
Yeah. So yes. And so until you get things worked out and you talk about stuff, and yeah, that's the thing, is you've got to talk things through. You've got to, keep
marriage
in mind.
Marriage advice 101.
Yeah. You got to talk things. That's right. You got to talk things through, and you have to also understand that, if you do things with the intention of being all right yourself, and doing your best to help everybody else be all right in whatever situation it is.
Yeah.
You just kind of have to make those adjustments.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that I'm just comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
I'm also very comfortable stepping in when you need help and preventing you from being getting, unwarranted criticism.
Right.
Or being put in a category that's just not necessary or helpful.
Right.
So, and what I mean by that is that, again, I'll go back to this. I've raised you. I know you. And I'm comfortable living with you because it's familiar.
Yeah.
And we kind of have this groove, where we've got things worked out.
Yeah.
Nana and Pappy have not lived with you. And so the traits that you have, the characteristics, Nana says something, she said to me, could you please tell Josh that when he comes into the room and he's so quiet, he scares me, because I don't know he's there because he's so quiet, and then I see him and it scares the heck out of me. I'm like, all right. Oh, and so I forgot to tell you, so I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you that right now. But there's other things too, they don't understand you reading so much. They don't understand you staying in your room so much. They don't understand any of that. So I get a lot of those questions, is Josh sick? I say, I don't know. Could be, I don't know. But they don't understand it.
Right.
And so those are the kind of things that happen when you live with people that you're not accustomed to living with.
Right.
Just the way you do things are different.
Right. I would like to point something out.
Mm-hmm.
And that is that the way that you explained you living by, in specifically the I think you said something about being true to yourself.
Yeah.
While also trying to help other people.
Correct.
That's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've always done.
Mm-hmm.
And that's honestly, that's gotten me into trouble sometimes, but it's mainly because I believe that's mainly because I don't always know how I'm supposed to act with other people.
Yes.
And so it's difficult sometimes, though.
You're talking about, again, living here in this situation?
Oh, no.
Just in people in general?
Me trying to help people getting me in trouble.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, and I think to elaborate on that, is that you are so kind and giving that you offer so much, and sometimes people can take advantage of that, and it's,
or they completely take it the wrong way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
but
that is
that's yeah.
Right. But do you find it difficult living with Nana and Pappy?
Not really. I mean, yes, but no.
Yeah, they're crabby. Nana doesn't answer half the time, because she's so sick. Mm-hmm. I think that's what it is. She's just not
right.
Fully present.
But it's like you said, they are not familiar with my mannerisms, with my quirks, as you called them.
Mm-hmm. How does that make you feel when they don't understand you? Even if they don't understand you and they say something about it.
I am grateful that they're asking about it. Because to me, that means that they're trying to learn to understand me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not so much that they're criticizing me or anything, it's that they're doing their best to understand why I am the way that I am. Even with as you said earlier, them quote unquote people being set in their ways.
Mm-hmm.
So it really, I think that's huge.
Mm-hmm. So I agree. So let's go back to your living situation here.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be, how much of a difference would it make if I were to go in there and help you to straighten up the room to make it more of your room?
No.
No?
No. It would not work.
That's what I thought. Because I keep on suggesting things and you're like, no. So what is it about this situation that, like, where can there be movement so that you feel better?
I'm sorry. I initially thought of a flippant answer, so I'm sorry.
Okay, it's all right. Yeah.
I think the best thing that we can do right now is to honestly just endure it for right now until all this stuff settles down.
Well, what advice would you give to somebody else that was going through this? Like, how did they find their How do they keep themselves together? How do they keep themselves from shutting down entirely? How do they keep moving?
Part of it is the knowledge that there is a quote-unquote light at the end of the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
That there, in this situation, where we know that the construction will be done around a certain time, that's a clear light at the end of the tunnel. Does that make sense? So that's one thing. Another thing is that it's difficult. I understand that. Even just talking it out with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Just not... Just, if you can... Sorry.
No, you were talking. I interrupted you.
If you are able to... Even if it's just a vent, if you're able to talk to someone about how you're feeling without having to worry about not repercussions, but them judging you or anything.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the second thing, is having someone to talk to is huge.
Mm-hmm.
And the third thing is having something you can do that can get your mind off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Which for me, it's working and it's reading. For the most part, anyway.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, and for me, it's also being able to recharge by doing something completely different, like D&D.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, it's... If I had to put it in a shorter version of what I just said, it would be something like it's okay to vent. Some things take time, but it will be okay.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's really amazing that you have that. Wait, when you said something about that there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Mm-hmm. Just don't look at the light.
No, a friend of mine had a perfect joke about that. She said, "I thought I saw I finally saw the light at the end of the tunnel. Turns out it was a train."
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That's really funny.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing too is that a lot of times you just have to be able to do your very best to express how you're feeling.
Yeah.
To first of all figure out how you're feeling.
Yeah.
And if it feels like you're just kind of getting pulled in all these different directions, it's okay, because that's what stress does.
Yeah. So let me correct myself then.
Okay.
Instead of it's okay to vent.
Mm-hmm.
Express yourself.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So express yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Things will be okay eventually.
Mm-hmm.
I just had the third one. I just had it. It's okay to get your mind off of it by doing things you enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, yeah,
And I would add to that, keep your routine as
much as possible.
As much as possible.
Yeah.
So I do know that you do that.
Yeah.
You have a certain order that you do things.
Mm-hmm.
You have a certain way that you do things. And even though everybody else is doing their own thing and it's crowded and
Mm-hmm.
your room is not necessarily your own,
Right.
you are doing your best to keep in your routine.
Yes.
I want you to know that it is it does bother me that you don't have your own room. And we'll see what we can do about that here shortly, even before the renovations. Maybe we can just move things around. But
Thank you.
yeah, because you need that space.
Yeah.
You need that safe haven where you feel like it's you know, and you're surrounded by your stuff.
Yeah.
You like your statues and your whatever that thing is, little head bobbles around.
A bobblehead?
A bobblehead. I think it's a dinosaur bobblehead or something. But anyway.
Books.
Yes, books.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, yeah. So, basically what you're saying is to give yourself an opportunity to escape, because that helps you to not have to feel the intensity for a while.
Yeah.
So either get out of the house, do the things away from the house, do things that you enjoy, have conversations with people.
Yeah.
And then when something is really upsetting to you or bothering you, share that with the people that you live with in order to smooth things out or to get things, because if you don't say it, other people don't know.
Right.
So like you talking about the laundry day.
Yeah.
Well, that's an easy fix.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think this is actually the first time I brought that up to you.
Mm-hmm. It is.
So.
Yeah. So that's taken care of.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else?
I don't. Right now, I can't think of anything. But yeah, I can't think of anything right now.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think considering the situation that you're doing fantastic.
Thanks.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we'll figure things out.
Yeah.
Yep. We'll have answers really soon. As to when the renovation actually starts. We're still in a permitting phase. So that's what the holdup is.
Okay.
And
I just hope that it doesn't end, like this construction and stuff. I hope it does not end on March 14th.
Why?
That's the Ides of March. Always beware the Ides of March.
Oh. Yeah. Yep. That's right. Well, okay. Thank you so much. This was I know this was kind of a big deal. Mm-hmm. You're living it, and I know that it's really stressful for you, and to find the words to put together there was kind of difficult.
Yeah.
So, all right, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Please go to our website. It's sonyaking.com. It's SONYAKING. And give us 5 stars, because that really helps us out. So if you do that, we appreciate it. Mm-hmm. And we hope that you're having a wonderful day. And
a good Veterans Day.
Yeah, good Veterans Day. And
thank you for everyone who served and everyone who's a family member of someone who served.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So be good to yourself. Find something that makes you happy and do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll talk with you next week. Love you.
Bye.